Okay, so if you've been watching our little show here for a while, you probably saw that we did My Immortal over the course of this past Halloween, and even bled into Christmas and a little bit after that, because that thing was a fucking mouthful of a sex-filled fan fiction, which there is a supercut on our main channel, here where you're watching this now, that is a nice little condensed movie that you can go grab some snacks and watch. And I subtitled the whole fucking thing, so please go watch it, because that shit took forever and I wanted to blow my brains out.
He actually put the script on the screen so you can see, especially Andrew's parts as the narrator. Like, it is worthwhile to rewatch it and see like what we were trying to interpret like on the spot. It was pretty fucked. Yeah, it's definitely the deluxe super version. So go give that a nice little peek.
If you go to twokidsinasandbox.com, that's like a quick way to get to it.
Yeah, just steal that link.
Yeah, if you go to meatspin.com, it'll hyperlink you there.
BBoysPodcast.com.
So anyway, this is what we're reading today is like the sister of My Immortal. It's based in the Twilight universe. What's this one called? Kudos.
This one is called Forbidden Fruit: The Temptation of Edward Cullen. So yeah, for Biden, our loyal president. This is Biden's Forbiden Fruit. The Temptation of Edward Cullen. Doplex found this one and did a great job there. I cut it up, which was James's job last time. James, I have so much more respect for you, because reading through this and trying to figure, especially in these first couple chapters, trying to figure out where to put what, because it's all in first person again. So I've done it where it sort of made sense for a narrator, but then when it's more like what's in their head, I've passed it off to the main character, who in this instance is going to be played by our very own Mick Roberts.
Woo! This is exactly what I've been waiting to do for the decade on this deserted island. Holy shit! This is
the role of role.
I wanted to show up and give you something to do
in so long. My load is ready to go. Yes.
Yeah. Return to the VO world.
When you spend those years studying at acting school, I imagine this is kind of what you had in mind, like deep down the road.
I mean, it's a dream. I
can't wait to read Forbiden Fruit.
But now it's happening.
Atlantiana from Forbiden Fruit. It doesn't get better than that. That's the role of a lifetime.
So, take it away, Doplex, our faithful narrator for these first two chapters.
Author's note. Hey guys, this is the new, improved version of my story. Hope it's better this time. BTW, I am young and have dyslexia. I find spelling hard, but it's meant to be unformal, okay? No criticism, Pulse. Tis story goes out to my BF Zach. Kisses. And my best friend, Tiffy. Love you, girl. Edward is our god. We want to have sex him god. Love and blood, Becky Mac. XXX. XX. XX.
Little hug, big hug, little hug, little piece.
Update. I have a proofreader, and I have cleaned up the spelling and grammar on this chapter. A hell of a lot, as you will see. Thank you, Vicky. I will be immerpaving the next chapters soon. Chapter 1. Atlantiana.
All right, Mick, here's your caddy. Now, you're a 16-year-old girl in the Twilight universe, so picture that in your mind's eye. Take it away.
Hi, my name's Atlantiana Rebecca Lauren, but everyone calls me Tiana or just plain Tia. I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I live in Forks, Washington. My hair is long and pale like spun gold and skims to my waist like a pale, shimmering amber mist. My eyes are deep, forget-me-not blue, and my delicate ventures are lily white and pure as the winter snow and moonlight. I've been told by loads of sleazy, ugly, horny guys that I'm really pretty and look like a model or a bunny girl. Some of the guys who like me are really old and try to make opt with me. It's disgusting and weird. But basically, a lot of the girls I meet tell a different story. They say I'm too ivory white and ethereal and too skinny, and that I look anorexic, which I don't care about, but I think it's seriously disrespectful to people with real eating disorders.
By the way, I'm so totally not anorexic. I eat loads. I just never gain weight. And I'm not thin enough to be anorexic anyways. I think they were just being biatches. Especially this one ratty brain called Ellie Mayfair, who I hope freaking dies in pain with shit on her face. Sorry, I'm not really such a batch. But she is so horrible. If you met her, you'd think the same.
We're back.
Anyways, I'm quite tall and slim, but with really big boobs that I used to hate because they look noticeable on my slender body and draw too much attention. But now I like them and don't care who stares at me. I have a lip ring and recently put black and indigo and magenta streaks in my long, pale, blonde hair. I smell like mint and cinnamon. I wear mostly black and hot pink, deep purple and neon blue, and listen to cool music.
I love hearing Mick's voice immediately interrupted by her inner monologue, which sounds like goddamn Ian McKellen or something.
It's a nice juxtaposition.
It is Atlantiana's first day at school in Forks, as she just moved here to live with new foster parents, Dave and Marie. They are nice and all very whole. Same sweet people, but it is not like having a real family. She's been hurt too many times to let people close to her, and she doesn't talk to them. Very real mom died when she was born, and she never knew her real dad, but sometimes wonders what he is like, and if she will ever get to met him.
That's a Chekhov's gun right there.
Dave gave her a ride to school, and she smiled faintly as she wished her good luck, and she got out of the car and went into the school. Loads of people freaking stared at her as she walked down the hall. She was wearing tight black leather pants with silver chains at the waist, and a red fishnet-like top. You could see her black lacy bra through it.
This has got to be Tara.
This is deja vu.
Yeah.
I ignored whispers and the big pink cheerleader imbossils pointing at me. I was used to it, and I paid no attention to the guys asking desperately for my number. Like hell, I'd even look at the horny little donkeys. And told a ditzy blonde cheerleader called Jessica to STFU when she called me a freak. Next time she tries anything, I'll hit her in the eye, because no one messes with me no more. My first day, I was really bored. I sat gazing out the window into a gray cloud embittered sky for most of the morning. My teachers all looked at me disapprovable, but said nothing because they probably knew I was a foster kid and a gothic and didn't want to upset me in case I cut them up as they slept.
Jesus. Yo, it's Jeffrey Dahmer.
What the fuck? My ears are pierced 4 times. I have a tattoo of a scorpion like S, my birth sign, on my ankle, and a gothic cross on my shoulder. And on my hand, I have a weird birthmark in the shape of a 7-pointed star that I've had all my life.
She's Jewish.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's Drumsy.
You're probably wondering why I'm bothering to tell you this. Well,
yes.
I tell you now, I am no ordinary 16-year-old girl. I have a secret. A dark and forbidden secret, which I am only just beginning to understand. When I sleep, I hear whispers in another language, and even though I understand them at the
Chinese.
time, when I wake
Portuguese.
up, when I wake up, I can't remember it. I also see weird faces in my dreams that fade to nothingness when I open my eyes, and I swear out of the corner of my eye, my birthmark glows, shocking bright gold, and gets really hot sometimes. But when I look properly, it is back to normal, boarding scar color. I'm really graceful, like the running antelopes. When I run.
The antelopes. Fuck those lopes, man. Fuck them.
I'm sick of them.
When I run really fast, and I'm stronger and faster than most people. I used to just think
It's
I
like
was
Sonic.
Yeah. I used to just think I was really athletic, but now I'm not so sure. I think there might be something else at work, something so much more mysterious and eerie. The truth hovers so softly on the brink of my memory sometimes. But if only I could remember the weird things that clung to the edge of my mind as I slept.
At lunch, Atlantiana sat alone in the corner and scanned the cafeteria quietly with her eyes smoldering dark blue beneath her long black lashes, and her slim thighs curled under her. It was the N, she noticed, unbelievably
It looks like I cropped stuff out by accident. I did not. And it's just like that.
It was the N, she noticed, an unbelievably jaw-droopingly hot dude with tusseted blondie brown hair, golden yellow eyes like wells of hot caramel, and pale sexy features. He was tall and muscle and looked like he was wearing eyeliner, and her body got hot and cold all at once.
Like Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Fuck you, don't flex.
As she looked at him, she'd never felt this way about anyone before. And she'd totally never felt this weird feeling that she'd met someone before, but she had no idea where, and she knew it was... What the fuck?
I don't even know where you are.
The sentence is like falling
it's
down
a run-on sentence
What's
at this
happening?
point. No idea where, and she knew it was impassable because she'd freaking remember someone that hot. A girl sat next to him with long brown hair with her arms dripped over him like a freaking flesh-eating plant. So Atlantiana thought, well, whatever, he's taken. She wasn't nearly as hot as he was. She wasn't ugly, though.
That's actually kind of good imagery, that her arms were freaking flesh-eating plants dripped over him. Yeah. That's actually pretty. That's kind of cool.
I was a little
pretty good imagery.
Was like not a bad this is definitely
metaphor,
better written, but only a little bit.
Yeah,
she's good at painting imagery, unlike Ebony Darkness Dementia.
Yeah, for sure. Nice black neon pink. Yeah.
Slim's eyes curled too, like
underneath her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
like
the boner, guys.
what if they weren't under? Like frick.
Damn.
Fuck.
I figured I was maybe prettier than her. I never really saw myself as beautiful, but I'd guessed from things others had said. Plus, this girl wasn't great looking. But anyways, I'd never try to pilch with another girl's BF, because that's just low. So I got up to leave the hall thinking I'd go and smoke some bald drugs in the locker room while no one was there.
What is she even trying to say with bald drugs?
She bought weed off like Joe Rogan or some shit. Super smooth nugs.
Some bald drugs. As she waked over to exit, she couldn't help but notice the hot, pale guy's musky eyes as they met hers. She locked away hurriedly.
That stinky
She
eye.
smocked dope. She smocked dope in the locker room for a bit. Then she wandered to her next class. She bumped into someone in the corridor, and her box fell everywhere.
Not
frick,
her box.
Frick. Not her box.
WTF? Watch where you're freaking going, you asshole! I have anger problems!
Just a quick side note. I have. That's like a fourth wall break. Look at the camera like, I have anger problems.
I have anger problems.
I'm so sorry.
He said, in a voice like wet heaven. God.
Please forgive me, my lady.
It was the hot pale guy. Author's note. Vincent, or whatever your name is, thanks for the lame review. You totaled the star. No one is macking you read this fic. If you don't like it, then leave.
Her spelling's really going off the rails.
It's starting to...
Listen, she has anger problems.
Starting to give me data.
Kind of like here.
Yeah, she's seeing
The
red
bad
now.
reviews are just like, she's slamming the keyboard.
Celestal Zodiac and Brittany J. Thanks for the advice on my character, but she's not a Mary Sue. She's not perfect. Look, she has anger problems, and she looks the way she does for a reason. I will explain it as the story goes on. Chapter 2.
I can't wait.
Edward. The anger faded from her sapphire eyes.
Whatever.
She said She said sweetly.
I think it's sweatily.
I think that's sweatily.
Oh, yeah, it is sweatily. All right. She said sweatily.
I didn't mean to yell and to be ride.
Thou art to be... Wait.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
That's a good one.
Thou art too beautiful for that.
He said. And for once, she didn't feel like cock-dropping the guy for paying her a compilement. Instead, she just smiled.
I'm Udad Cullen.
That sounds like a fucking bad word.
You fucking oodard.
Fucking oodard.
We don't like no oodards around here now.
He's a little oodarded.
Let's get udarded in here.
You got it wrong.
Fergie, let it go.
Let's get udarded.
I'm Udad Cullen. Who are thee?
She just spelled it. It's like, I don't even know if your mouth can make this sound.
Here we go. Fuck. Okay, here we go.
Crazy.
Okay, here we go. I got this. Alt atten Tiana Lauren. But you can call me Tiana, or maybe Tia?
She said, feeling shy at the way he was looking at her. She had seen that look in so many male eyes, but never quite as intense or sexy. His eyes burned like hot gold velvet in the midday sun, like peonix feathers and rainbows, so gold and magical.
That reminds me of bygone times.
He said carefully, retching out a shaking hand and brushing her cheek.
Thy face is like an old... Thy face is like an old painting. Thou was exceptional.
You're not shaking yourself. Oh, wait. You're not so shanky.
Shanky.
You're not so shanky yourself. But I couldn't help noticing you have a freaking GF, you ass. I saw you with her in the cafeteria.
She notched his hand hard with her long black nails.
Thee did notice me then.
He purred with a sly grin. She was up against the wall with his face right close to hers now. He wanted to sex her, she could tell, and suddenly he was kissing her. She felt like her slim legs would break in half and her heart expanded like a big balloon. She felt his hand sliding softly down her neck and underneath her top. He stoked her breasts for a few minutes. Like a campfire. Poking it with a stick.
Yeah, this baby's coming along real good.
Holds a marshmallow over her nipple. He stoked her breasts for a few minutes, and oh, come on. He stoked her breasts for a few minutes, and his man carrot standing in action and hard as a rock against her legs.
Yo!
And then he ripped her top and pulled it off her and doped it on the floor. They made out for 10 minutes, and then he tried to take of her bra, but she pushed him away, suddenly thinking,
WTF, Tia? Are you just gonna let this total stranger take your clothes off in school where anyone could see you? I'd never let a guy kiss me before or touch me, and suddenly I was letting this cheating sicko with a frickin' GF grope me just cause he was uber hot with sexoid hair and cold as death.
He was super hot and cold as death. Frick!
Damn!
fuck!
Like a condom that's on hot and cold for her pleasure.
Like Katy Perry.
She was acting like a biatch and a slut, and she was suddenly very ashamed of her actions.
Bastard! Never touch me again!
She gasped.
No.
No.
Oh. She gap said.
Cap said.
She gapes.
She gapes.
She gaped. I remember one time we were at the like library's teen space and me and my friend Jed were like 16 and we learned what queefs were.
That's
Did you learn the hard
the
way?
rest of the day making queef sound effects.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the corner of the teen space, big on like. Anyway, if thou thinkst thou can keep thou hands of me.
Ooh.
Damn.
He answered all smug. But she couldn't believe how he made her feel so angry and so aroused at the same time. At that moment, she'd never hated any boy more in her whole life. And the worst part of it was, he was so freaking hot. She was totally creaming her panties. Chapter 3. Oh, that comes after. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm used to it coming before the author's note.
I also usually come before the preface to the book. Nice. I'm just like so on edge.
You come right on their preface. Just whoop. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that's what he's on here. I mean, come on, guys.
Prefacial.
The line.
Yeah, prefacial.
That's why he's on the show. I mean, fucking come on.
Author's note. All right. Hi, guys. I hope you like this one. I'm quite proud of it. Thanks for the support from my friends. Love you, girls. Glad you like it. Oh, and Vincent, you're so dumb. Of course, Tia didn't go to math in only her bra. She's not a total ditz. One more time. Don't read if you don't like it. No frickin' flames. What is the point of flaming people? There is no point, so F off. Chapter 3, Uncle Larry. Oh my god. Alt at Tiana. Alt and Tiana. Sati alone. Watching TV.
Hold on. You did say Chapter 3, right?
Yeah, of course. No, we're professionals here, man.
Third chapter, Uncle Larry.
Alt and Tiana. Sati alone. Watching TV at David Maria's house. She couldn't stop thinking about her encounter with Udit Cullen earlier that day. He was so beautiful and sexy, with such amazing ear and eyes. She could hardly believe he had noticed someone like her. But she was angry at how he made her feel, how she'd burnt like crimson hot flame when he touched her, and how he'd not listened to her when she'd told him to fring off, to Gus fring off, and how he dared to touch her at all when he had a GF anyways, even if she was a mean girl with an ugly art and not that hot. But no matter how much, oh fuck off. But no matter how much Elton Diana tried to hate him, she simply couldn't. Suddenly, the phone rang.
Hello?
Hey, is that Atlantaniana?
That's a Mike Newton if I've ever heard one.
I don't know what I was
expecting, but it wasn't that.
Yeah? Who's this?
It's my villain. Come on.
It's like a fucking Saint Bernard.
James did that voice from one line, and now he's realized he has to commit to it for like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, he thought about it. I could hear him thinking about it. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, my fucking brain started like melting. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, is anyone gonna say Is anyone gonna say the stage direction there?
I asked.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos hit it with it.
Wait, you do your line again, Mick.
Yeah? Who's this?
She asked.
It's my. It's like new in your class. I was wondering if you were wanted to go to La Plush with me tomorrow night, maybe. There's a party on the beach with the whole crowd of us going, and I thought you seemed to really. I'm gonna pass out. I thought you seemed really nice, so I thought maybe you'd want to be my date, please.
Aren't you the guy who hangs out with all the pathetic cheerleaders and stuff?
She asked.
You mean Bella and Jessica's gang? So sometimes I guess, but they're way shallow, Hal, and not as hot as you. And they can be mean sometimes.
I love how this is like Cookie Monster on Nitro, like nitrous, like oxide.
I was trying to do Christian Bale Batman, and it just turned into fucking Cookie Monster. I don't know what happened.
Then why do you hang out, white, them, then you shallow creep? And why are you asking me out when you hairily know me, Mike? Because you think I'm hot? Why can't you see you're just as shallow? If you want to date someone, just cost of what they look like. I'm not that pretty anyways. And even if I was, I'm so screwed up in the brand, you can't even imagine. You would want to date me if you knew how screwed up I was.
Mike, your response.
Better up.
Fuck.
I
don't know if I'm ready for
this. Believe me, I would. You're so beautiful, you can't even imagine. You're so pretty, people lose their minds when you're around, and I forget their names and forget to breathe. How could you have noticed that? And I don't care how screwed up you are. It only making you more interesting.
It's like Yoda getting fucking choke fucked against a wall.
It's like if Yoda was a Muppet.
You're cool and different, and you are honest about stuff. You are right to be angry with me. I'm so sorry for benign, shallow, Hal, and dumb. Just give me a chance to show you how much I care, please.
Mike's going through it.
Well, okay. Okay, maybe it'll go along if I don't have anything else to do.
She said, not believing a word he said about how pretty she was.
Thank you, Atlantiana. Thank you so much.
He sounded so happy. She couldn't help but smile as she put the phone down, but her smile faded as she returned to her thoughts. Mike Newton was kind of cute and seemed like an okay guy, but he was nothing next to Edward Cullen. Alright, she's just doing this on purpose now.
No, it's her proofreaders thing.
Oh, yeah.
Autocorrect.
Right.
Control F.
No, this is how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Even though she was angry, and Edward than she have ever been with anyone in her life, and part of her wanted to chop his head off with a saw. A part of her soul would always remain in that corridor where they kissed so hard and passionately. She creamed his
Just full stop sentence.
that's the sentence.
That's the sentence.
Yep, she ejaculated.
Yeah, she kind of come. What can I say? Her heart had soared that day like never before, and she knew that no one else would ever make her feel like that again. Then she thought how he was a cheater and a bastard, and her face burned with shame. She couldn't believe she had behaved like such a whore. She was scared of the effect it would have on her.
Bye, Tia. We'll be back on Thursday, okay?
Mara put her head into the door suddenly.
Okay, then have fun.
Now that's clammy if I ever heard it.
That's clam. That's why you're a
what I call
professional.
clammy.
She whispered clammily. Dave and Marie we're visiting relatives for a few days.
You look so pretty. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen.
Gee, whatever.
She replied. She hated it when people say that. She pulled her blonde hair over her face. She was wearing a short, hot pink dress, cut low, with black lace frills at the bottom and black lace stocking.
Dave's brother Larry will be looking after you while we're gone. You'll be okay when we're gone, won't you, Tia? I hate to leaving you alone like this.
I don't need a freaking babysitter, you know. I was so embarrassing. I could look after myself. I have anger problems.
Talked about it in chapter 2.
She said she'd elaborate. Marie smiles and leaves the house.
Greeting, a semicolon Latiniana. My name's Uncle Larry.
I didn't even try on that one.
Just slapped her keyboard.
Said Uncle Larry. He came in through the door. He was fat and bald, with tiny black eyes and a red face. Sounds British.
Hey.
God damn it, Bobby. You're the orphan, aren't you? Is it true you killed your mother when she gave a birth to you?
What?
She cried, her eyes filling with tears.
You're an evil bick, aren't you? Go outside and wash my car.
He shouts angrily. She stood up and left to wash his car. She got soap and a bucket, afraid of what he might do if she refused. She went outside and started to wash Hush's car. It was a red Porsche. He came outside and watched her, and she knew he was watching her. After a minute, he came over and hit her hard across the face.
WTF?
She shouted. Now,
This
next
is a
part,
moment where I would just like to say, this is where you remove questioner from earlier. This is where you remove the character from the actor. something's about to happen, and while I'm acting as Uncle Larry, I would never do this. This is one of those instances.
Do we actually want to do this or not? Because I think we...
Look, let's just lay it out. All right, it's a rape scene. The uncle is about to rape this poor woman.
Here's the thing, and it's very dry. Like, it's played very straight, even for this like train wreck of a fanfic.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like very graphic and just intense. So I think we're just gonna skip it.
I've always skipped it.
We'll skip it.
James, just very aggressively
hop
as Hank
over it.
Hill say rape. And we'll move on.
Yeah.
Like he's a Pokemon doing an attack.
That's perfect.
Beautiful.
It's like a
We'll move
command.
on.
After that happens, she pulled on her clothes and cried madly and ran off into the seething darkness of the midnight street. She ran and ran until she came to some woods, and then she fell down in the woods and cried. Suddenly, a blast of white light exploded in her head. And her mark on her hand burned like a flame. She closed her eyes and saw the face of a tall, white man looking over her with no expression.
It was Jeffrey Epstein.
This is Ghislaine's origin story.
Yeah. That's how he was born.
He's trying to find his way to fucking heaven.
Yeah.
His egg-shaped
Hey, I'm
penis
lost.
glistened in the moonlight. His eyes were burning red, and his face glimmered cold and bright as the moon. She fell back from the brightness of his body. His hair was dark as night.
Atlantiana,
He whispered in a voice softer than clouds.
Facts.
my daughter.
OMG.
Imagine if you see your dad for the first time in 16 years, and you're just like, I'm good.
I'm good.
She whispered as her mind went blank and the world went dark. Author's note, no flames please, there's no point. If you don't like my story, don't read it. It's as simple as that. BTW, Atlantiana is not Marisu because, look, she is not perfect and not everyone in the story likes her. She has problems and she has flaws and she's unhappy. Would you like her life? No, I wouldn't. It's totally tragic and horrible. You flamers aren't even making sense one. Chapter 4, La Push. Atlantiana sat quietly on the La Push beach apart from the party that was going on beside her. Mike Newton, family,
The boy.
Mike Newton was following her around like a pulpy.
Pretty spot on.
Like a pulpy. And he was so boring. None of the things he had to say were interesting, but she was nice to him because he wasn't a bad guy. Her thoughts were elsewhere. She couldn't stop thinking about the events of last night when Uncle Larry had raped her and she had her a scary vision in the woods and a tall pale guy, in my mind, had called her his daughter. She didn't understand she felt so awful that she had been raped by that hideous pervy sicko when she had been saving herself for the right guy and for marriage, and her virginity was torn from her grasp by that twisted guy. It was so cruel and unfair. It made her want to cry.
Oh my god, Mike! What are you doing talking to her?
She turned around and saw 4 nasty faces leering at them. It was the cheerleaders she had seen in the cafeteria, and one of them was the girl dating Edward Cullen, the brown-haired girl who was standing in the back, looking moody, but not saying anything.
Stop being mean, Jessica.
Mike said angrily.
Yes, awesome. And if you can't see that, it's just you
Sounds
being
like
blind
Bonzi Buddy.
and shallow and stupid like you always are.
Fucking Mike has had quite the character arc.
Yeah. No, he's so like that fucking monkey Bonzi Buddy.
I can't even remember what the voice does across like 10 minutes. Okay. This is me too.
Yeah, I mean, look at her clothes. She looks like a stupid goth biatch with her slutty top and short skirt and fifth net tights. Is she a rat hooker or what?
She's got a lisp.
Rat hooker.
Fifth net.
You damn rat hooker. Jessica screamed. She was really ugly when she shouted, even though she was technology a hot chick and was dressed in skimpy pink clothes.
You know what? Jess, you and your friends are so shallow, Hal, and you are the real slut. You and Bella and Angela and Lauren may wear short skirts and low-cut tops and stuff, but that doesn't make you beautiful.
Make you beautiful.
It's what's underneath that counts.
Mike shouting.
He's shouting facts.
Peace out, Mike.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Said a sly-bond girl in the gang who was called Lauren, pointing at Altensia Anna.
what's with her breasts? They are huge. I bet they're fake.
She laughed, and her friends all laughed too, even Bella and Angela, who have been quite quiet until then. I like how she made Bella from Twilight into a prep. I don't think she missed that.
Yeah, poser.
Altensiana got up and pushed them and ran away into the darkness. She could hear them all laughing at her, and she felt so embarrassed. She was relay sensitive about the waste she looked. She hated the fact that it made all girls hate her and all guys stare at her. She would have given anything to be ugly or just enviable. She wasn't stuck up and didn't think she was better than anyone else because of how she looked. She just wanted people to treat her like a normal person. She couldn't help being slim and blonde with really big boobs. It wasn't her fault. She hadn't done anything wrong.
Are
you okay?
Who are you?
Altensiana asked. 3 really pretty goth girls were standing there smiling at her, and she smiled back.
We are Tiffany,
Abigail, and Rochelle.
They said, smiling.
You seem cool. Do you want to be our friends?
Yeah, of course. I'm just a bit melancholy because those horrible cheerleaders were being mean jerks and saying my boobs were fake.
Altensiana said.
Oh my god. You mean Jessica and Bella's gang? They hate us too because we don't care what they think. They're just jealous because you're the prettiest girl in the school now. And they're all playing next to you. But we don't care about stuff like that. We only care about people's personalities. Hell yeah. Have fun with that, Courtney.
Cool.
Perfect.
That's probably how I react to 3 goth girls speaking in almost perfect unison.
Exactly. That's exactly how to react.
Altensiana talked to Tiffany, Rochelle, and Abigail for hours, and they were so cool. She'd never had proper friends before who didn't care what she looked like or where she came from. They just liked her for her. And she liked them because they were uber cool and they had loads of stuff in common. But after a while, they all went home, and Altensiana stayed on the beach. It was getting late, but she didn't want to go home to Uncle Larry in case he raped her on his car again. Suddenly, she heard a voice from behind him.
Well, Tia, thou seem to be causing quite a stir at school.
His voice was smooth and sexually, and from another time.
What do you mean?
She demanded.
Basically, every gay at school wants to have sex with thee, and every girl wants to eat thee alive for it. How's that for causing a stir, my lady?
He smiled and kissed her neck.
Shut up, jerk. BTW, I met your girlfriend before. Bella, I think her name is. I don't like her or anything, but how the hell can you cheat on her like that and kiss me how you did? It's sick. You're a cheating bastard. And I should tell everyone. Tiffany told me you and Bella are like the school's golden couple or something.
Like a Pokemon.
What would happen if I told people how you had acted in that corridor with me?
Oh my god, sweet lady. Thou must not tell anyone.
He screamed.
It was a moment of madness. That's all. I'm so sorry for what happened. I hope thine can forgive me. But I've promised myself to Bella, and that's just how it is. No matter how much thou interests me.
Fine! Then stay away from me!
She shouted as she left to go home. But he followed her and grabbed her and pushed her down on the grind.
Yes, the grind set.
Yo! He's a Sigma! She was burning with anger and fury. But she wanted him so deathly, she didn't even try to resist him. He knew how much she wanted him, and it drove her mad. He put his hands inside. Inside her panties, and she gasped. She was suddenly desperate to sex with him, and she tore her clothes off. And oh god, I can't remember what this was. She tore her clothes off, and her was in her underwear. She took off her bra and showed him her naked, heaving beasts.
Somehow better visual imagery.
Me beasts.
Have sex with me now, Edward.
She whispered.
I can't.
he said.
Why not?
Solid Snake from MGS3.
Otacon, should I have sex with this woman?
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho beasts, he said.
Revolver Ocelot.
Although his body was on top of hers, and his fingers were touching her nipples.
Please, I'm begging you.
It's like you're really fucking me, Mick.
I can feel it.
She said, hating herself for being such a dirty whore, but unable to control her burning desire.
No!
He shouted and ran away
That's
crying.
exactly what Snake would say.
Ran away crying.
He put in so much work just to run away.
She put her clothes back on slowly, being so ashamed and embarrassed she could hardly move. She couldn't believe she had begged him to do sex with her, and even worse, he had said no. She went home, and Uncle Larry made her cook his dinner and
Jesus.
What the fuck?
It's like a jump scare when it hits you with like the fucking.
Uncle
no,
Larry
just
is
out
a
of note.
fucking jump scare.
Uncle Larry finally left her alone, and she thought about killing herself as she cried and cried as she fell slowly into a dreamless sleep. And that is the first 4 episodes of Forbiden Fruit, the Temptation of Edward Cullen.
Wow.
Yay! I don't know if I should clap or song.
It's kind of dark. Yeah.
We gotta get this on Mick's IMDb. Someone submit this to IMDb for. I mean, like, come on.
Author's note. Can I have some reviews, please? Chapter 5. The Talent Contest. It was a week later, and Atlantiana felt like she was slowly dying inside. Her life had crumbled into pieces, and she was alone in the horrible darkness of her mind. The 4 cheerleaders had followed her around school and been mean to her for the last week, making fun of her clothes and her purple streaked blonde hair, and saying she was too slim and that she had boobs like a prawn star. It really upset her, and also Uncle Larry had taken her to those times last week, and even though Dave and Marie were back home, and now every time they went out different places, they left her with him, and he hit her and made her sleep. It was horrible, and she wanted to die every time it happened.
Edward Cullen stared at me whenever he saw me at school, but I just anchored him and pretended he wasn't there. I was so embarrassed about what had happened, and I hated him for the way he made me feel and the fact that he was a cheater and an ass. I would probably have ended my life that week if I hadn't been for my lovely new friends, Abigail, Rochelle, and Tiffany, who were all totally cool and helped me fight off the evil cheerleaders. I hadn't told my friends Boit, Uncle Larry, and Udard, but it was nice to have some pupil who liked me anyways. I sat in the cafeteria with them at lunch.
Hey, Tiana, are you doing the talent contest tonight?
Rochelle asked her.
No way, I'm not good enough,
she said shyly.
Oh, Mitchie, are you kidding? You're an amazing singer. You're the best I've ever heard. No joke,
shouted Abigail.
Thank you, but you're just being nice. I'm not that good. And even if I was, I wouldn't perform. I mean, I hardly want to contract more attention to myself than I already have. The whole school is already talking about me, saying what a freak I am. I just want to be an average person.
Come on, Tia.
Who's this?
You have to do it.
God.
Shut up. Oh, what the fuck? The megaphone is on.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
She's on speaker Zoom call.
I was talking to my big cheerleader thing. I was like,
Come on, Tia. You have to do it. Jessica and
Tiffany
Bella
said.
and the cheerleaders. Jessica and Bella and the cheerleaders win every time with their dumb dance routine. It is so annoying. They aren't even talented. Someone needs to teach them a lesson, hon.
I don't know, maybe.
She plimpled mutely.
She plimped mutely?
Plimpled.
She plimpled
mutely.
You guys wouldn't understand.
I don't know, man. That was
She plimpled mutely, but she had no intention of actually doing it. Later on, Atlantiana and her friends sat in the crowd and watched the contest. The cheerleaders did their dance routine, and they weren't that awesome. They were just wearing slutty cloths so all the guys could stare at them, and 'cause they were popular, no one was allowed to say they sucked. At the end, Bella ran into Edward's arms, and Atlantiana felt flames of jealousy burning up inside her.
I want this jealousy.
Girl, you got that jealousy.
Damn, I saw this girl on the weekend. She had the best jealousy.
Fucking jealousy.
They kissed for a long time, and although he looked at Atlantiana the whole time, she still wanted to cry and scream. The principal caked up on stage and said,
He's like fucking pulled back
stage, his ass
up real
clapping.
tight in his butthole, yeah.
He's fucking caked up.
And now for our final act. Atlantiana, Rebecca, Lauren.
Everyone looked at Atlantiana, and she was shocked.
Oh my god, who put my fringing name down for this?
She screamed.
Who knows, girl? Just get up there. Wait, that doesn't sound emo at all.
That's emo.
There it is.
That's Eva. Abby pushed her towards the stage, and she went up there.
I sang Total Eclipse of the Heart, punk rock version, so it wasn't sappy or lame or anything, and everyone watched me. I was embarrassed at first, but everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves, except the cheerleaders who looked totally mad. LOL. So I sang louder and louder. My voice soared higher than ever. That was like magic. I was wearing a purple lacy low cut low enough that you could see my bra and black skirt. This shirt was cut so low you could see my bra and black skirt. How
That shit
far
went
did it
all
fucking
the way
dip?
down.
It was like this.
Whoa. And purple fishnets and spiky black heels. That shirt is touching the fucking floor. This song finished, and everyone looked happy and clanged at me. And I went blushing to sit on my friends. Wait, what? Remind me to kill whichever one of you beaches put my name down for this. I sat on my friends after blushing? What?
Hell yeah.
After everyone clangled at you.
After everybody clangled,
Get
she
some
said,
pans
but she
out.
was smiling.
Bang, bang, bang.
Law!
Shouted Rochelle.
It wasn't us, you know.
And the winner is Atlantiana, Rebecca, Lauren.
The principal screamed ecstatically. She went back up onto the stage and shook his hand, and everyone applauded her and screamed her name except for Jessica and Bella, who looked like they were about to kill her, Lamamfau. Atlantiana's eyes strayed to where Oh, she spelt it right. Atlantiana's eyes strayed to where Edward stood gazing. Actually, that stood is spelled right.
That is stood, Andrew. That doesn't be how the word be looking.
Give them some credit.
Stood gazing baldly?
Stood gazing
yeah.
boldly at her.
Yeah, you focused on the wrong letter, on the wrong word.
Yeah.
She almost fainted right at the sight of him looking so hot and gorgeous. She didn't think anyone else had noticed, but he had a massive erection. It was so hot and sexy. She saw Bella and Jessica storming out of the room angry when she had won, and she smiled. Later on, she walked home happily, then a car purred up beside her. It was Udod.
I think it wasn't being carpooled, but you know. Also, I like the idea that he's just like 90% direct out erection, you know, like an Anchorman.
Yeah,
He's just fully
torqued.
His
fucking
pants are
intense.
unzipped and his dick is fully out at like a fucking high school pep rally.
Yeah, his pants were actually cut so low that you could see his penis and his balls.
his
Just
fishnets.
like a little bit.
It's much like her shirt. It's just like all
Yeah,
dead.
exactly.
Get in the car. I'll drive thee home, sweet lady.
He said in his beautiful old-fashioned speech. She did as she was told without knowing we're quiet for a minute.
You were awesome tonight. You have a stunning voice like silk and satin in the moonlight. You looked beyond beautiful up on that stage, like an old painting in a church. I wanted to charge right at you and kiss thine lips right there.
He still had a huge erection and she wanted to touch it so badly, but she didn't.
She just wanted to fucking slap it. Bam!
like the door stoppers you have at home, like brrrr.
I think Bella might have had something to say about that.
Atlantiana snapped.
Where is she, Niue?
Is she a new way?
Niue? That sounds like an Australian thing.
No, I.
No way.
No way.
No way.
At home, sulking because she lost the contest and had a total hissy fit and cried for hours because thee was better than her in the contest.
How mature?
She said sarcastically. At that moment, Edward pulled his car to the side of the road and looked at her and touched her hand, and she slapped him hard in the face.
You will never touch me again, you sicko. Hashtag.
I think this is touche. Touche.
You will never touche me again, you sicko. Hashtag.
She wailed and kept hitting him in the face and chest.
Last week I fucking begged you to sex on me, and you turned me down. I have never been so humiliated in my freaking life. What the hell is going on? What the hell is wrong with you? 1 minute, you all over me, and the next it's like I didn't even exist. Didn't fucking touch me, ever.
Ever. You fucking Swedish pirate.
It's complicated, Tia, my lady. I'm sorry I hurt thine feelings. It's just, I can't resist thee. But I can't be with thy either. I never meant to drag thou into this mess. It's not thee fault. I totally ruined everything. I'm so sorry. I'm despicable.
It's me or her,
she said bluntly.
I can't make that choice.
I have a question. He keeps saying Tia. Is the person who wrote this Hispanic? Because Tia means aunt.
Yo.
I think he's going off of the last bit of her, like Atlantean. No, wait, that doesn't even make any sense.
No, I think maybe that's like a nickname that some people. I think maybe the first chapter they said like some people called me this. So I think maybe
it's like Atlanteana, so Tia.
Okay. I thought he was calling her Tia, and I was like, that's really interesting.
This is like a low-key incest, you know? She was trying to hit that incest market. It's like a really coveted thing right now.
Yes. Yeah, you're playing a 40-year-old Hispanic woman who's just like talking all over.
I want to fuck you so bad, Tia.
Actually, don't this. Can you give that? Could you make Edward into a cholo for the rest of this?
You want me to pivot into cholo?
I don't think so. I think that's a bold direction that Edward hasn't been portrayed in before.
I can't make that choice.
He wept.
You're going to have to.
First, thee have to tell me who thou relay. Fucking bitch. First, thee have to tell me who thou relay are.
He said.
Who were thee, parents? Who were thy?
My mom.
Who are? Oh, what are thee?
Yeah,
wait,
what?
Fuck that line up. Sorry.
Who
were thy parents? What are thee?
My mom dies when I was bored. I never knew my father. That's it.
Mom, I'm so
you got so bored. You got so bored that your mom died.
We both know that's not the full story. You're a vampire. Like me.
Oh my fucking god, I'm not a freaking vampire. I think I'd have noticed, you total dipshit.
Honestly, that's like the most genuine line in this whole thing.
Yeah. You don't drink human blood?
He asked.
I don't drink any blood, you asshole. If this is your idea of a joke, because no one's laughing.
She got out of the car and ran away feeling insulted. She didn't want to see that stupid hot jerk ever again. She went home, but she couldn't get rid of the memory of his sharp erection and deadly cold body.
That dick can cut steel.
She cut herself and went to sleep in tears.
Edward just sitting like whittling his dick like a guy with a fucking stick. Just
filing it down.
This is what the women will like.
Shit, sharp as hell. Author's note. Didn't all just attack me for the things written in this chapter about Tia's parents? I haven't explained everything yet, and it'll make it more sense later. Chapter 6, The Curse.
Oh, Udard, with your skin so white, your eyes like amber out of sight, pale angel in my eyes, hair like gold, Rossi sunrise. Oh, I thought that was my front doorbell.
I was giving you music.
I read the words of my poem out quietly. I had written a poem about Edward. I just couldn't help myself. I hated myself for doing it, but I couldn't get him out of my mind. And it was the only way I could deal with my feelings.
Suddenly.
Yo, fuck. I'm pissing.
Her mind went black and she fell into a trance. A tall, pale man stood in front of her, all ghosty and misty, like he was only half there.
My daughter! Oh, my daughter!
he moaned.
Who are you?
She whispered quietly.
I am your father. I am Caius from the Volturi. You're in terror and peril, my daughter. Beware the vampire boy called Edward.
Why?
She said.
You mustn't let him sex you, or the curse your mother tried to protect you from will fall on you. You'll become a vampire, and you will never be safe. Only as a human can you be safe from them.
Then he faded, and she was awake, and Uncle Larry was standing at the door. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right, and I'm gonna, for the sake of, I'm gonna skim through this. He came over. She was strong for her size, but he was a huge fat man, like 300 pounds in weight. He was about to do the rape.
A cameo for kudos.
But at that moment, someone came running into the room and hit Uncle Larry across the head with a stick and knocks him out cold. Uncle Larry laid there bleeding, and she looked up at Edward.
I like to imagine he was lying in the Family Guy death pose, like with his hands behind
his arm over his back.
with a fucking Rip Brian tattoo.
He is the type who would get a Rip Brian tattoo.
Yeah, Uncle Larry definitely got a Rip Brian.
I love that fucking dog.
Yeah. That fucking dog.
Fuck Uncle Larry.
I miss him. OMG, my sweet lady.
She wept sadly as Edward unchained her and she put her clothes on. Edward turned away while she dressed so he wasn't perving on her, and he looked down at the poem she had written.
For truth, these are the most beautiful words I've ever seen. It makes me feel so very moved.
He cried.
Oh, I wish I wasn't promised to someone else. Then I could write poems for thee.
Why are you promised to Bella anyways?
She asked.
Because I made a promise, and I can't break it. It would be rude and ungentlemanly. Bella never used to be like she is now when I first met her. She was sweet and shy and never nasty about everybody, but she has changed, and so have her friends. I don't know what made her change. Maybe it is my fault. She just seems angry all the time now.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
She said.
just from this very traumatic experience to, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They left the house and went to walk in the woods. They talked about loads of things, and it turned out they had a lot in common. They liked all the same music and movies and books and stuff. It was like magic.
You know, maybe Bella isn't happy because you guys are not in love like you used to be, and you should break up with her so we can move on and you can both be happy.
She said.
She always used to say that she'd kill herself if I left her. Wait, fuck. Let me do that again.
That's an abusive relationship.
That's manipulative shit.
Edward, you gotta get out, dude.
Edward, bro, like, man, I'm like, just from like bro to bro, man, like, that's not cool.
She always used to say that she'd kill herself if I left her. I cannot be responsible for her death. I just don't get what has happened to her. I just don't get fuck, I can't read. I just don't get what has happened to her. She used to be nice and sweet like thou, my lady. And now I am falling in love with thou. And it is all such a darn mess.
Right. Oh my god.
A knee slapper.
He hit a tree in frustration and it broke. He was so strong. I guess because he was a vampire.
You're falling in love with me?
She asked, her cheeks going all red and her heart starting to soar.
My sore heart.
Ow!
Ow! Owie.
Ouch. She went into cardiac arrest.
OMG, forget I said that.
He looked really embarrassed and it was so cute. He had a big erection too.
Edward, get a fucking grip.
He does suck blood. He does suck blood. That's his whole thing. So it kind of
He's got an
excess. Yeah.
She reached out her. She reached out and grabbed his hard-throbbing male object.
She grabs it like a fly that keeps buzzing around.
His hard-throbbing male object. God. They couldn't control themselves anymore, and they both fell down on the floor and got naked and made love.
Just ragdolled.
It was amazing and lasted hours, and they had never been so happy in their life. She felt like she could die with happiness. But after a while, Edward started to freak out and cry.
Just like in the middle of it all.
Yeah, he hasn't even busted yet. He's still fully torqued.
I have been such a fool!
He screamed.
I should not have let that happen. I hope thee can forgive me. I must return to Bella.
And he ran away. She could not believe it. It was like her world was caving in all about her. She was so shocked and angry, she could not even cry or scream. But as she lay there, she started to feel different, like really different. She suddenly remembered what her father had said to her about not making sex with Edward, or she would turn into a vampire. Her skin was getting all hard and pale, and her eyes could suddenly see a lot clearer than before. She heard lots of little noises, even from relay far away. She even wanted to drink blood, and she could smell a human coming closer. He was almost there.
There you are, you horrid slug.
It was Uncle Larry.
Where have you been? I'm gonna do something now.
Just right to the point with his intentions. Something in her snaped. She jumped at him and broke his neck and drank his blood. She had always been strong for her size, but now she was super strong. He looked so surprised, and it was so good. Soon she dropped him on the floor, and he was dead. Thanks for the reviews.
Chapter 7. Surprises. Atlantiana woke up sheepishly and wondered where she was for a minute. She got out of bed, wondering if all the things that had happened to her last night were just a dream. She went downstairs for breakfast and sat down with Dave and Marie. They look at her and smiles adoringly.
Wow, dear. I love your new hair and contact lenses. Your look. So beautiful,
said Marie with her face all bright in happiness.
I got up and looked in the mirror. Holy shite! I looked totally different. For the first time I could see my face as truly beautiful. It was even prettier than before. My eyes were a weird silver color, like wet pools of noble moonlight in distant meadows. And my ivory gold hair seemed to shimmer like the sun's burned rays in the morning with the purple streak. This girl is drunk. With the purple streaks shining like neon lilac. I was radiant and magical, looked awesome. My skin was even more pale than before, my features more delicate and queen-like. My nose was small and dashing, and my cheeks were high and pale, and my chin was soft but majestic. I was amazed.
Queen-like just means like inbred, right?
Yeah. I was beautiful.
Suddenly, the phone rang and nuked her out of her silent staring. Dave answered it. It just fucking...
What? Okay. Oh my god, you're kidding. This is inconsideratable.
And he hung up.
What's happened, honey? Uncle Larry has died. It looks like he was ripped apart by a wild beast. I feel so sad. He was my brother.
He's like mildly bummed out at work.
Yeah, just kind of bummed.
Fuck.
Damn. Larry died.
Atlantiana suddenly remembered what she had done, and she screamed and ran to school. She felt so awful and guilty for what she had done. She knew Uncle Larry was a perv and a racist. She thought she still shouldn't have killed him. I was going to explode with guilt. She ran through the forest towards the school, but suddenly a large thing appeared in front of her. It was a bear. A big panda bear. It was huge and fluffy and really cute, but she was scared as this was totally a weird thing to happen.
Yeah, I'd label that as weird things to happen. You just run into a giant panda bear.
and like,
out, he's like,
get in the zone. Oh yeah, greetings, Atlantiana.
It said she was totally freaked out. Since when did panda bears live in forks? And since when did they speak? She was totally confused.
WTF?
She screamed.
Oh yeah, I'm a panda bear. My name is Snufflanty Tatanu. But you can just call me Snuffles.
A talking panda bear?
She shouted furiously.
Well, I cannot talk like humans can. But you're not human anymore, so you can just understand me. You can talk to animals. You probably have other powers too, you just don't know about it yet.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know, hey, just touch that tree.
Said Snoofles, smiling at me. I touched the tree and concentrated hard, and even though it was winter, the tree suddenly started to bloom huge bunches of flowers. The flowers cascaded down like a river onto the bare forest floor. I took my hand away in horror. The flowers were so beautiful. They made me think of Edward. Then I remembered how he left me after we made love, and I became angry. I touched another tree and it burst into flames. It was as if the trees turned into things that somehow reflected how I was feeling. Oh my God, how is this possible?
She said.
Yeah, no, well, don't ask me. I'm just a panda, lol.
Said Snuffles with a big grin, and he raised his eyebrows.
But I'm so happy to find a person who can understand my speaking. I ways wanted a human friend. Will you be my human friend?
Well, yeah, okay.
She said.
But I have to go to school now, so I'll see you tomorrow, Snoofles. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool, AG. Well, I'll see you.
Said Snoofles.
I'll see you later.
She ran away and was totally weirded out by her meeting with Snoofles. She was almost in a trance at school, and even though people stared at her and made comments she was almost in a trance at school, and even though people stared at her and made comments about her new appearance, she had never cared less. In gym class, she ran around dressed in her gym clothes. She was playing Dodgaball, and the cheerleader. There's fucking
like
translucent. Yeah,
that's like an animated series of characters that have for like a toothpaste commercial.
Yeah,
with the cheerleaders.
She was playing dodgeball, and the cheerleaders kept throwing their balls at her really hard like biatches, but she was dodging them at the speed of light. Lauren came over to me and tries to hit her over the face with her balls, and the girls do have balls, yo. Sarah was spitting, and Atlantiana slapped her in the face.
WTF, you freaky goth tutor bitch.
She shouted with her ugly face flapping like a big bag.
Leave me alone, yeah?
She said, looking more beautiful than ever.
No, I'll never leave you alone because you're so weird. What has happened to your face? It's like you're from another planet. You're so pale and delicate, freaking everyone out. We all hate you.
Atlantiana was so mad she pushed her, but when her hands touched her arms, her skin started to blister and froth in a totally gross way, and she got struck by a bolt of wasn't dead. What? No, that was right.
What is it? That was not me. When I entered this, that was just how it was.
Yeah,
that was that sentence.
She got struck by a bolt of wasn't dead or anything, but she looked totally disgusting, and she got taken to the hospital.
I didn't look for my friends, and after gym class, I sat in the changing rooms after everyone has left and cried because I was so sorry for what I had done to Uncle Larry and to Lauren. I was sat there wearing a very short leather mini dress and ripped tights and a skull necklace and a gothic top hat with feathers on it. What? Suddenly,
that is a fit.
Suddenly, she's a fucking pirate. Suddenly, I heard voices from behind me.
Tia, it is I, Edward Cullen,
said Edward. She turned to cook at him, and he gasped in a high-pitched way and fell over onto the floor. She was mad at him and totally upset about other stuff, so she didn't check to see if he was okay. He got up in a minute.
I fainted, Tia. Thou is so sexy and exquisite. I lost my contentiousness. Thy face is even more sacred and filled with shining glory than before. I'm amazed.
But then he noticed she was crying tears of soft blood, and he said,
"What is wrong with thee?"
said Edward.
I killed someone, Edward. I killed my...
Sorry.
That's the worst yet.
I killed my uncle and drank his blood, and I think I made Lauren get stuck by lightning.
Do you remember earlier with the principal? There was like something about someone getting shock.
Yeah.
Or it came back. It was foreshadowing.
She got stuck by not dead lightning. That's what happened. It all makes sense now.
I literally can't get over the fact that they keep saying Tia, and I know that means aunt. So it's just like auntie, like it's
okay,
like so weird.
Yeah.
I still love it.
It's okay, Tia. He was evil, And no one cares about Lauren.
Edward says to comfort her, and he put his arms around her.
Still, what I did was awful. And anyways, get off of me!
She stood up and shot him off her.
Don't come near me ever again. I haven't forgot you for what happened last night. We did sex, and you left me there in the forest.
Has there been one reference to sex that uses the proper verbiage? Because it's always
it's never said had sex. It's did sex. We sexed. Yeah. You sexed on me. Never we had.
You sexed on me. You sexed to me. It's never been like.
Yeah.
She leveled up.
It's like an action.
What can I say?
I'm sorry. I cannot stay away from thee, and yet I cannot be with thee either.
He cried and threw his hands up and wept. All of it.
No, I'm not he's vomiting his hands out.
He retched for his man penis.
Sharp cock.
He's fully erect all the time.
He's fully erect with a switchblade penis.
Yeah.
Make your mind up, Uadard. This is a serious thing. Either stay here with me now and screw me and be with me for forever, or leave and go and be with Bella. Make your choice right now.
Dude, she finally uses UR and it's wrong. Everything has been Y-O-U-R this whole time, no matter what. And this is the only time it's been written in 20 pages.
She thought it was like an adjective. You just added in to spice things up.
Yeah. Make UR choice right now.
I choose thee, Atlantinina. Bella is a big mean cow, and I can't be with her anymore. I will never leave the outside again. My lovely damsel.
In the beginning, they literally described Bella as like super thin, and now he's like, she's a big mean cow.
She's a fat fucking bitch, and I don't like her anymore.
She's gained 70 pounds.
300-pound life.
And she says my penis is dull, but it's not. It's sharp.
It's exceptionally sharp and always erect.
As you would have guessed, he started to cry, and she kissed him. He was so amazing, his yellow eyes and tousled auburn.
Yellow eyes? He's got like fucking jaundice.
Yeah, he's got jaundice.
His liver is failing.
Damn, that's why he wants blood, yo. Just get him some vitamin C. What the fuck?
Yo, the transplant, come on.
He has scurvy. Oh my god.
Boy, gotta eat some limes.
Twilight. He doesn't have vampirism. He's just got scurvy.
He just has no fucking vitamins in his system.
They eat one lime and they're like, oh, I can't punch trees anymore. Damn. This panda isn't talking to me anymore.
Oh, now I gotta get a job at...
He lives on KFC and McDoubles and just gets 0 vitamins.
He's hanging out on Reddit.
His yellow eyes and tousled auburn hair and pale skin made her want to screw him all the time. She'd never seen anybody look so perfect. She took off her dress so she was only wearing her underwear, and she sat on his knee and they kissed a lot. He touched her all like over and she felt dizzy and weak.
Do you mean it, Edward? You'll be mine forever?
I does. I shall be thy mate,
he said beautifully in his smooth, hot velvet voice. She found some handcuffs on a bench and she tied him to a hook. Okay.
Hold on.
Where are either of these objects just in common?
He was unable to move and she took his pants down and looked at his throbbing lavender man fruit thing.
Lavender?
What the fuck?
Man fruit
Why
thing.
is it lavender? Yeah, why is it lavender?
I don't think this person's like 12. They don't even know how to like properly verbize like sex, and they just there's like penises are like purple.
Oh my god.
It's a magical
purple and long like lavender.
Yeah,
it's sharp.
Oh my god.
It was the most beautiful thing.
And also, it really isn't. Penises are gross. They're like fucking weird fleshy arms.
Speak for yourself.
They're just kind of big and chill in your jeans.
Yeah, they're
like,
not great.
They're not. You wouldn't describe it as beautiful.
I would. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen, and she put it in her mouth and sucked it, and he thrust it madly until he had an orgasm in her mouth. The hot juice flowered in her mouth, and it was magical.
Suddenly, a voice came from behind her.
Do you know that apparently there's some dildo company when Twilight was really big, they made dildos that like retained heat really well, so you could put them in the freezers and like recreate what it would be like to have sex with a vampire.
That'd be kind of hot.
What?
Like they made dildos that like you could stick in the freezer and they'd retain the heat because you know vampires in the Twilight universe are all cold because they don't have,
right.
You say that
like dead.
There are dildos for like lesbians where so a lot of like lesbians do enjoy being like cummed in, but you can't do that. So you you put your cum in this dildo and it shoots out like a normal dick.
Yo!
So you just put Fanta in or something, or
yeah, it's got a little pump. It's like a mix. I remember we sold those, and I thought that shit was so funny because it's like a little easy bake oven that you put in a little penis.
That's fucking epic.
It's just like powder.
But like, what do you put? Do you put like cake icing in, or like what do you use for cum?
I mean, you could use
a little pump.
You could use like artificial stuff, or you could use your actual stuff. You would just have to be like you'd have to have a lot to like push it in there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of cold sex.
What do you think you're doing, you evil rodent people? I hate you! I hate you both, and now I'm going to kill myself! My neighbors are about to call the cops.
Yeah.
Wait, I love the idea of like the narrator. It was Bella Swan, as if it like turned to you like, she's gonna kill herself. It's Bella Swan.
Yeah.
I just love walking up on two people fucking and going, "What are you doing, you evil rodent people?
You rodent.
You're disgusting."
They look back like. People kind of do be fucking though.
They do
Facts.
be fucking.
That's true.
Did you guys like Twilight when you were teenagers? Did you guys?
I never watched it or read it because back in the day, Harry Potter and Twilight beefed, and I was Harry Potter gang.
I liked both. Yeah. I think I liked Twilight so that I could get hot goth girls, but it didn't work out, so I just ended up liking Twilight, just unironically.
Well, this has backfired.
Well, I've got egg on my face. In fact, I went to go and see one with one of my friends who was a guy, so if anything, probably the opposite of getting chicks. And he made me pay for it. That was the guy
with your bros.
That was the guy I was telling you about. He was like, "Oh, I'll pay for us. I'll shout us a movie." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go see that new like the third Twilight movie." And then we get there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, my card declined, so I had to pay for it." It's bullshit.
That was a date.
Did you guys
technically.
kiss?
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
kiss? Did you smooch?
Yeah, I sucked him off. I sucked his sharp penis.
His cold sharp penis.
Lavender
thrusted into you until he had an orgasm.
I cut the roof of my mouth.
You cut your mouth open? Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like,
you want to know how I got these
scars? He sucked out the blood, and he's like, "That's why it's sharp, you idiot."
That's how the Joker became a thing. You want to know how I got these scars?
I sucked sharp off my friend in a movie theater.
My father was a Twilight fan.
You want to know how I got these scars? My boyfriend has jaundice. All right.
Idiot.
All right, James, take us on.
Hey guys, sorry it's been so long since an update. I've been so busy lately, so I had a fight with my old beta. But I have a new one now, and she is helping me. But she is on
classic e-girl
Vacatone this week, and next. So I promise I will sort the spelling mistakes out when I can. Chapter 8.
I don't even know what beta is meant to. Like, what is that a spelling error for?
It doesn't.
My
matter.
beta cuck is gone, but I've retained a new one.
Vacatone sounds like a Hispanic music. Vacatone.
Vacatone.
Oh my god.
It's reggaeton for cows.
That's not the narrator. That's her like writing this out so we understand where she's at mentally.
Yeah, this is yeah.
IRL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where she's at mentally. I'm really fucked up. My beta left me.
My beta left me. My new beta's on Vacatone. It's a whole mess.
She talks about a beta the way people talk about the GIMP. Like, oh, my GIMP left me. I have a new one soon.
Is she saying that her beta is on Vicodin? I think she couldn't spell that.
Just for this week.
My beta just signed up for
this
a Blue Chew renewable prescription. Chapter 8, the kidnap.
But that's actually... Wait, sorry, side note. That's actually really sad if someone is proofreading this and like it's still horrendous.
Yeah.
You know, like her beta's like reading through this.
This is apparently
squinting their eyes looking at it.
The girl writing this was the proofreader of My Immortal. So like they're like friends in real life. And this girl was actually proofreading My Immortal for the other one and going through that for all the spelling errors. And I think, what was her name? It was like fucking...
Raven. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, thanks for the help,
Raven. Was this Raven?
So this is... Yeah, Raven can't even proofread her own shit. Chapter 8, the kidnap.
I sat alone in the changes room. I was almost naked and looked awesome with my exotic, lithely hair falling down over my face like a curtain of soft yellow cream with bits of purple in it.
That's an awful description.
Yeah, soft yellow cream hair makes me
cream
like
with bits in
my
it.
stomach turn over. That's fucking nasty.
It's like rancid cream.
As like someone who's feminine, it sounds like she couldn't tone her hair. But I didn't care how beautiful or exquisite I was anymore. Edward was gone. He had left to follow Bella to stop her from killing herself. So I was so mad. How could he leave me like that after saying Bella was a cow and he didn't like her no more? I was pissed. And the tears were falling down my face like a tepid summer rain of misery and woe. So I went home and skipped home and sat in my room in my black corset and leather pantasand. I smoked some drugs and started to I smoked some drugs.
I smoked some drugs in my panty sand.
Also, wearing a black corset to school and leather, like, is she trying to say pants?
Yeah,
like,
pants. I think it's panties.
Do they make leather panties? That sounds like the worst.
That sounds awful.
Place to have
that doesn't
leather.
sound like a good time.
Yeah.
You have a wicked like UTI because you're wearing like leather panties.
But damn, if you get pants, people will be like, "Yo, that bar, and the tears were falling down my face like a tepid summer rain of misery and woe."
That kind of does go hard,
bro. Like God,
that's like the first good line.
Gonna move me right now.
I feel like a black corset is like from my understanding of corsets, incredibly uncomfortable. So the idea that she's in her room, like she isn't impressing anyone, but she's like, gotta rock the corset.
Gotta rock. She's not a prepper or poser, man.
But like a corset makes you sit like totally upright, so she's just like totally like perfect posture.
Smoking drugs.
And smoking.
These drugs are so fucking epic.
She's smoking a fucking crack pipe. Just
She can barely even breathe. So.
She can't even expand her lungs enough.
Yeah, she's like microdosing because she can't like fully like fill up her lungs. Dave came in and made a big smiley face.
Hi, Tia. I didn't know you were home. How was school today?
He didn't notice she was smoking drugs, and he thought her cigarette of pot was a chapstick.
Your chapstick's on fire.
It sucks. My life sucks, and I want to die.
She screamed, and her eyes glittered with beauty.
You teenagers and your problems, LOL.
He said, laughing a lot. And she knew he thought it. She was just some silly kid whiny-yaning about homework and dumb boys and stuff. He didn't know she had killed a man and lost the love of her life and had made Lauren get hit by... is that right?
Lighting.
By lighting. Yeah. And that Lauren get hit by lighting, and that all the kids at school thought she was a freak because her face and bodies were so different from everyone else's.
Dave, you're a good person, but you're so fucking dumb, you asshole! I shouted at him and I threw my ashtray at his head without touching it. It was so weird. Why did this have to happen to me? I love that, Dave, you're a good person, but you're so fucking dumb. Sorry.
I guess you're right.
He laughed. He thought she was joking. She wasn't spoiled or anything.
It's so nice having you here, Tiana. You're so pretty. I swear you're even prettier than before. And I think your boobs have grown.
Dave!
Stop! Dave!
Yeah, I know, they're like an E-cup now.
She said. Dave smiled and patted her on the head and left. She was so sick of being
treated like a kid and no one listening to her that she got up and got dressed in a long black dress and took some pills of drugs and went out to the local nightclub, which was called Pablo Nightmare. It was a goth club.
That's my
where
family
all
reunions. It's a Pablo Nightmare.
It was a goth club where all the cool people went in Forks. Bella probably had never even heard of it. Lol. She met Snuffles on the way and he came with her. They went to the club and got drinks and started dancing to the heavy metal music. People there stared at them because she was so different looking and Snuffles was a panda. But they didn't care, but they were having so much fun. But they didn't care. They were having so much fun. They were so drunk and had taken a lot of drugs, so her head was fuzzy like there was snow everywhere.
Yeah, if someone walks into a fucking nightclub with a panda, of course you're gonna stare at them.
Washington, D.C.
Yo, this is my mount from World of Warcraft. I'm level 80.
Hi, you're called Tiana, aren't you? I am Jasper. I go to your school.
Perfect. That's Jasper.
That fucking Tony Hawk.
I go to your school.
He's like from the Midwest. Like, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's like from Wisconsin or something.
Yeah. Said Jasper Cullen, who was tall with blonde curly hair like straw, only soft and nice and not dry. He was tall. Okay, he said that. He was wearing a black pullover and red metal pointy shoes. Author's note, haha. That description sounded bitter in my head. Oh well.
Hey, whatever.
She said.
Why aren't you with that girl I always see you with?
Ah, you mean my girlfriend, Alice.
He said and looked soddenly very sad and started to cry and bite down hard on his lips.
What is wrong, Jasper?
The problem is I don't love her like she loves me. I am gay. And that's wrong, and I feel so horrible about it.
Why is that wrong?
The way you said that.
I am gay.
I am gay.
I've been practicing
I am gay.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad about being gay, you know.
Really? He said and looked shocked with his mouth open.
Yeah, it's proper. It's proper normal, and Snoofy's is gay and everything. I have a gay panda friend. Jesus,
that's so epic.
No. Does it get better? She said, and Snuffles waved and Jasper waved back. He smiled and they all stared, dancing together, and Jasper gave them some of his drugs. They had a really good time, and Jasper met another gay guy called Vince, and they all got in Snoofless's car at the end of the night, and she drove around while the others all had sex in the back of the car. She was drunk, but because she was a vampire, it was okay to drive. She had better reflex than humans.
Thank God.
Can't argue with that.
There's just a bunch of dudes and a panda fucking in the back of the car.
Also, the panda has a car.
Then she gets pulled over. But just a cop.
Don't look in the back, officer. I will not be able to explain this to you.
Suddenly, something jumped into the road in front of them, and she had to stop the car and get out. There was a man standing in the middle of the road. He was tall and muscly, and had black hair like the black feathers of a raven in the black darkness. He was good looking, but he looked so angry. She got out her samurai sword. She often has it with her, but Simone jammed up behind her and tore it from her. There were like 10 people all grabbing her body in the darkness, and they put a thing over her face so she couldn't see, and they tied her up. Jasper, Snoofles, and Vince were too busy doing gay sex on each other to notice. She could hear them grunting and humping and having sex on each other. She could hear them grunting and humping and having orgasms on each other. It was so cute, but now was so not the time. The men who had caught her took her away, and something hit her over the head, and she was unconscious.
When I awoke and I found myself in a small, dark room, and a tall Moosel man was in front of me, I was stripped down to my underwear, and I was chained to the chair with some metal chains, and I couldn't move. Who are you, wanky perv?
She shoited.
I am Jacob, the werewolf king.
He yelled with his eyes rolling around in his face. He looked so mad and crazy.
No!
She screamed. And she tried to broke herself free, but she was under so many heavy chains, so she looked into his wagging face instead.
What do you want from me? Why am I here? She's gonna get raped by her uncle again.
She say, and she started to cry.
You must be punished for what you did to Bella. Swan!
He shrieked, and the drool was sloping down his face just like the rain, only thick and foam-like.
You are a half-bred. Your father was a vampire and your mom was a witch. It's just weird and wrong, and you've never been broke. And you've never... and now you've broken Bella's heart! Half-bred, half-bred, half-bred.
This dude was insane. He was so angry he was jumping up and down, but something he said had cowget her attention.
What do you mean my mom was a witch?
My father used to know her. She lived in... I keep wanting to read that as La Pouche.
Do it, La Pouche.
She lived here in La Pouche, and she was a witch. She could make fire come from nowhere and control the weather and talk to animals and loads of other stuff. She was a freak like you.
Of course, it all made sense now. She was so shocked, she fainted. When she woke up, Jacob was in front of her, and he was naked. He was smiling in a proper creepy way and looked totally weird, like a greasy frog thing, and his male genital item was not nice like Edward's. It was like a horrible wet mushroom. But suddenly, before he cowed, come any closer, the door of the room we were in burst open. It was Udard! And the fic just ends there.
That's where it fucking ends.
That's where it ends.
Jesus.
Of the whole
That
thing.
is literally the end. The's no more.
That is the most
Oh my god.
anticlimactic thing
What
I've
the
ever experienced in my life.
Now, Andrew posted in the group chat, Sarah, you had a fantastic idea.
Pay someone to
We
finish
pay
it.
someone
That's
to
what I'm
finish
saying.
it.
When I reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I paid random people on Fiverr to write fan fiction about me. So you guys should write, because I know I was talking to Andrew. Andrew's like, I don't want to write fan fiction because it'd just be weird. So you guys should prompt writers on Fiverr to write like the most random shit.
That would be so
we
good.
we give them the general premise of this and be like, all right, finish this for us.
Spelling errors and all.
So everyone who felt a bit, let down by the ending, don't worry, there will be more.
Yeah.
There will be more.
There will be more. But for this session, Sarah, you're a fantastic Atlanteana.
Yes.
Thank you.
A fantastic Atlanteana.
You brought a great energy to it. And Lauren, let's not forget Lauren's one line.
Oh yeah, Lauren's one cheerleader
Give it up for Lauren.
Thanks, man.
That's the Oscar winner in this whole thing, honestly.
You've been an amazing guest. I really appreciate you coming onto the podcast. I mean, I love that you like our podcast because I know we're really breaking a lot of ground with the four white guys having a podcast. I know that's like no one's ever done that before.
Hey, I'm a minority. What the fuck?
Wait, really?
What?
I think half of you are white.
Yeah, who's...
What
Wait,
I-
hold on, Sarah, who's not
Wait,
white?
what?
I think
James is Italian. I don't know how that works.
Let her...
That's
dang
pretty
it.
much
Did you
white.
think I was Spanish?
Oh.
Do you think I was Hispanic?
yes. Yeah.
Dude, everybody fucking... Dude, thank you, Sarah. These
But
boys
it's
didn't
'cause
think
you-
that people used to come up to me and start speaking Spanish to me when I worked at ShopRite, and it's facts.
No, because every time I mentioned the Tia thing, you seem to like be totally on board as well. Like,
I am.
So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Okay, well now I'm like weird. Now this is. Oh.
I think
You got that olive skin.
First of all, I am Mexican. So when I read Tia, it's like just I've heard it all my life. So when I'm reading it, I'm thinking sister, fucking Tia Mowry. That's where my head's at.
Oh shit, yeah.
Dude, that show fucking
That's
rocked.
what I'm thinking.
I'm pretty sure Tia is like a last name in Final Fantasy 14, so that's all I kept seeing. It's
Oh yeah,
Andrew,
and
what did
Tifa,
you see when you
she's
saw
like an
Tia?
Italian icon.
and Tifa too. Yeah.
I saw the name Tia.
You
Okay.
white motherfucker.